Hey everyone. Welcome back to Unmasked Health, where today I wanted to talk with y'all about real issues that affect men's health, right? Including their energy levels and overall quality of life. I'm Cassie, and if you can see me or not see me for just listening to a podcast, I'm sitting here in my craft room. I have no makeup on. It's a Sunday afternoon, and I just thought I'm going to hop on and do a recording, quick and easy one about something that a lot of men silently struggle with, and that would be fatigue. So, and I'm not a man, but I know what fatigue is. So, it's the kind of fatigue that you're not just being a little sleepy after a long day. I mean, you're waking up tired after 8 hours of sleep, struggling to stay focused at work. You have no motivation to do anything. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to play with your kids. It's that bone deep exhaustion that just doesn't go away. That fatigue. That's what I'm talking about. Now, of course, there's other reasons why you may be feeling wiped out. So like stress level, poor diet, bad sleep habits. That can also explain why you're having fatigue. But there's also something else that can explain your fatigue, and that could be hormonal related. So like low testosterone levels can be a major hidden cause of fatigue in men. And so I just want to have a real conversation about it, why it happens, how to know if it's affecting you, and what you can actually do to fix it. So a lot of the male patients I treat that come in for their visit complaining of feeling tired, fatigued all the time, they're gaining weight, they're not feeling like themselves, they have no energy to play with their kids, and they've lost the spark they once had, right? So men usually chalk it up to normal aging. And I say this all the time to my patients, the ones that come in and say, well, I'm tired because I'm 50. My bones hurt, my knees hurt because I'm 60. I always tell them, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to suffer. Don't sit there and just write it off as, well, that's just normal part of aging. Like, I'm going to have knee pain. I'm going to have back pain. I'm going to be fatigued. Talk to your healthcare provider about the symptoms you're having. Let us, my job is to find the answer. Sometimes, when a man comes in, or patient in general, but definitely men, because they don't like to go to the doctor. And if they're going to the doctor, then they're really, something's wrong. But my job as a provider is to make sure that there's not something else underlying going on, like a thyroid issue. Do we have undiagnosed diabetes? Are we walking around with high blood pressure and we don't know it? Because a lot of people walk around every day with high blood pressures, and I mean high blood pressures. Like, it'll be running 170s over 90s when they come in and see me, and they feel fine, which is why high blood pressure is called the silent killer, just FYI. But we're not talking about blood pressure today. We're talking about testosterone. So once I rule out anything, so I'm going to check your thyroid level. I'm going to make sure your blood pressure is in normal range. I'm going to check and make sure you don't have diabetes, especially if it runs in your family. And then I'm also going to draw a hormone panel, which is usually your testosterone and your free and total testosterone. So I do testosterone checking more times than not. And then when the results come back, 9 out of 10 times, it's the testosterone that is causing because their levels will be really low. So we have found the answer. It's your testosterone that's causing you to feel all these symptoms that you're having. Their thyroid's normal. They don't have an elevated hemoglobin A1C, which checks the level of your blood sugar over 3 months. And then there's, the blood pressure's great. So 9 times out of 10, it's usually the testosterone level will be low. And even if it's in like a normal low range, the male patient can still have symptoms of it being just really low. You know what I mean? Like normal's 300 and up. their level can be 250 and it be just like somebody that's got a testosterone level of 150, you know? So what exactly does testosterone mean? What does that look like? So I'm going to break it down in simple terms for you. Testosterone it's more than just the hormone that drives your sex life, men. Okay. It affects your metabolism, your mood, your muscle mass, your motivation. So basically, it's a huge piece of what makes you feel like you. When your testosterone is in a healthy range, you have steady energy, you have better focus, and you feel stronger and more resilient. But when it drops low, it's like trying to run your life on half a tank of gas all the time. And maybe for some other men, it's like a fourth a tank of gas. So why does it make you feel tired? I mean, it's testosterone. You're like, well, it shouldn't make me feel so tired. I shouldn't feel so bad. It's testosterone. Like, just same way with vitamin D. You think, oh, it's just vitamin D. When my vitamin D level's low, why does it make me feel so bad? So testosterone, how does testosterone make you feel tired? Okay. This is how it zaps your energy. Okay, y'all listening? Okay, so testosterone, it helps with red blood cell production. So when you're low on testosterone, you have a reduced red cell blood production. So your body is not delivering oxygen as efficiently as it should be, and that alone can make you feel heavy and sluggish. You know that sluggish, like you feel like you're walking through quicksand, right? It messes with your brain chemistry, so your motivation tanks, you feel more foggy, you're more unmotivated, it slows your metabolism down when your testosterone's low, so you get weight gain, and extra weight just makes you feel even more tired. So it's like a never-ending cycle of, just bad stuff. So it can also disrupt your sleep quality, so therefore you're not really recharging every night. So the man will come in and they're like, I've been laid back all my life. Like, even when a kid, nothing bothered me. I always had the energy to go and do stuff. I could cut my grass all the time, be out there cutting wood, whatever, playing with my kids, going to, playing baseball and so on and so on, going to the gym, working 8-10 hours a day. And I still had energy to do all this stuff. And now all of a sudden, everything gets on my nerves. I've been snappy with my wife or my significant other. I don't want to do anything. When I come home from work, all I want to do is sit down on the couch and have nobody bother me. So it's because of what the reasons I just told you. Testosterone manages your red blood cell production. And when that goes down, well, then it's just a rolling, I don't want to say crap ball, but it's a rolling ball of stuff that just keeps building up until you're at the point where you are with, I'm not myself. I don't sleep. I still go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, but not like I used to. I can't lose weight, or I'm gaining weight and my diet hasn't changed. So having a low testosterone can cause all of that in a man. Okay. And women too, but we're focusing on men right now. And it can sneak up on you in a matter of months, or it can take years for it to start. You don't just wake up one day and think, oh, wow, my testosterone's low. It's a slow onset. It slowly fades into your life. And before you know it, you're dragging through life thinking it's normal. You just think it's normal because we always tell ourselves it's because I'm older. It's because, work's been a lot more stressful, or I didn't sleep last night, so that's why I'm feeling so sluggish today. And 9 times out of 10, it's not that. It's your testosterone level. So signs to watch for beyond fatigue. So now we're fatigued, and what else do I need to look for to know if my testosterone level is low, right? It's a big clue. Fatigue is a big clue for low testosterone, but it generally shows up with a lot more symptoms, and we've already talked about some of those symptoms. But you also may notice a low sex drive or performance changes. So you get decreased libido. You don't have that drive to want to have sex. And we know how men are about sex. Women and men are totally different. And there's nothing wrong with that. But your sex drive changes. You start losing muscle mass and you're gaining fat, right? Especially in the belly. Now, if you're eating a bunch of cheeseburgers from the McDonald's and shakes and stuff from the local dairy bar, well, that, you know what I mean? Like, that ain't helping. That can also explain your weight gain and stuff. But you also start having mood swings. So before, when you were like real friendly and chill and laid back and, you know, not annoyed by all the little things, all of a sudden you start feeling irritable and you may even feel depressed. So you start having trouble concentrating and remembering things like, I just had my keys 3 minutes ago. What did I do with those? Or you're in the middle of a conversation and you're like, my train of thought just quit. Like, I don't know. Or things that you've done every day at work and you're like, what is going on? I mean, I've been doing this job for 20 years. Your memory declines too if your testosterone is low. And just overall, I'm going to sum it up in one little word that may explain how you feel. Okay, you ready? You just feel blah. And that's what you go in and tell your doctor or your nurse practitioner. Let me just say healthcare provider. You feel blah. You're not as sharp or driven as you used to be. You're just miserable. So if you're nodding your head, yes, up and down for yes, right? If you're nodding your head right now while you're listening to this and you go, yeah, that's me. Well, it's worth looking into it deeper. You know, don't get on the Google and start Googling fatigue and memory changes and all that stuff, because it will have you diagnosed with cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia. Like, Google doctor is always going to lead you to the worst path out there. So how to know if it's really low T? So we've talked about the symptoms. Now, what do I do now that I know these symptoms are related to low testosterone? What do I do now? So how do you know for sure? You can't just guess, right? Testosterone is a blood test that we can do. We check your total and free testosterone levels. And I just said that really country. I'm sorry, but I am from Mississippi. You want to check these levels before 10 o'clock in the morning. That's when your testosterone levels are at their highest, is before 10 o'clock in the morning. Because if by lunch you're like, oh man, I thought I was going to have a good day. I wasn't so tired. My train of thought was more clear. I was with it. And now it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You're like, I feel like crap. Like, what's going on? That's why your testosterone levels are highest in the morning. So you want your levels checked before 10 o'clock. And also, like I said before, we got to make sure there's not something else going on. Like your thyroid not working like it used to, your vitamin D levels are low, your iron levels are low. Maybe you have sleep apnea and you've never been diagnosed with sleep apnea, because who wants to admit that they have sleep apnea? If your wife tells you or your significant other tells you you snore so loud, you're rattling the windows and neighbors 3 miles down the road can hear you snoring, you may want to get that checked out, which would mean you need to have a sleep study, but that's another story. But fatigue, just the symptom fatigue can go with a lot of disease processes, a lot of other illnesses. So we need to make sure we're canceling out, ruling out all the major stuff that we know can cause fatigue, like your vitamin D level, thyroid, that sort of stuff. Okay. So you went to the doctor, you came and saw me, or I'm a nurse practitioner, not a doctor, but you came and saw me and I check your levels and I call you and say, hey, so-and-so got your blood work back and your testosterone's low. And in your mind, you go, okay, what do I do now? Okay, that's where I come in. So you want to start with your basics. Just fix your sleep. Okay. Try to get 7 to 9 hours. And I know you just laughed when I said that, but try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep and make sure it's consistent. So don't go to bed one night at 8, go to bed the next night at 10, go to bed the night after that at midnight. You know, it needs to be consistent. You need a schedule. Our body likes consistency. It likes things to be on a schedule. If we get out of that schedule, it's just haywire. So get some good quality, consistent sleep if you can. Okay. Because we know testosterone levels being low can interfere with your sleep. Clean up your diet. Stop eating the Sonic cheeseburgers and the burgers from McDonald's and going to eat Mexican every night and all that stuff. You need to eat healthy, whole foods, protein, unless the doctor has told you or a healthcare provider has told you could not have a lot of protein. Maybe you have kidney disease. Okay. But you want protein, you want healthy fats, and make sure you're getting zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D in your foods. Okay. These are key nutrients. I'm going to say it again. Zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D are the key nutrients for hormone production. If you're not getting that in your diet and you're low in it, your testosterone level is just going to be even that much lower. So move your body. Get up and move. Okay. I know just walking around the office a couple times a day when you're at work or a few times a day, even if it's every 30 minutes, is not the kind of movement I'm talking about. You need to do like resistance training with high burst of high intensity exercise that can naturally boost your testosterone. Those types of exercises where you're doing resistance training and then short bursts of high maintenance or high intensity exercises, it naturally boosts your testosterone. Okay. But you also want to avoid overtraining, because overtraining can also affect your testosterone and lower it, because it puts stress on your body, and stress lowers your testosterone. Manage your stress. Chronic stress raises cortisol, which crushes your testosterone. So find what calms you. Meditation, deep breathing, walking your dog, playing with your kids, anything that helps you feel chilled out and relaxed. And sometimes that means you need to take time away from your phone. Okay? I know we're all busy in our phone. We want to look at the TikTok and Facebook and things like that, and I know it's TikTok, FYI, but I say TikTok. But there's also a lot of bad stuff on there. There's politics and news and all that stuff that just is irritating and can bring up more stress and stuff for you. So for some people, now these are the guys I'm talking about have a low normal testosterone, all those changes may be enough to get your testosterone levels back up. Okay? But let's say you do it. You do everything you're supposed to do and your testosterone level is still low. What are you supposed to do now? So what we do now is hormone replacement therapy. And I honestly cannot tell you enough how big of a change that is for men when they get on testosterone. It is night and day when I see them back in a month, 2 months, and they're losing weight. They have more energy. They're able to play with their kids again. Him and his wife's or spouse's sex life is better. Like that, it's night and day when they come back. So it makes things better. Just hormone replacement therapy. And I don't say just as though it's just not a big deal, but I say all that to say this. Hormone replacement therapy is not something you want to jump to just casually. Does that make sense? You need to make sure you're seeing someone, a healthcare provider, that is educated in testosterone or hormone replacement therapy. You don't want to just be going to the urgent care clinic hoping Susie Q knows what she's doing with hormone. And I'm not saying Susie Q doesn't, but she doesn't deal with it often, so she's not very knowledgeable in the realm of hormone replacement therapy. Okay. So make sure you're seeing someone you trust. You feel like you can have just like Shelly was talking about on her podcast about go and talk to someone that you're having these problems that you're comfortable talking with. The same thing for hormone replacement therapy. Go and see someone that knows what they're doing and knows what they're talking about, who can help you along with the process. So be patient is another thing. So let's say you start the hormone replacement therapy. You got to be patient. Okay. This is not an overnight fix. Whatever you're changing, or whether you're changing your lifestyle or starting medication, it can take weeks or even months to really feel the difference. Now, I'm not saying you won't feel the difference, some kind of difference immediately, but 3 months post starting hormone replacement therapy versus 6 months of starting hormone replacement therapy, you'll be able to tell a difference. You feel good, but at 6 months, you're going to feel better. Okay, so be patient with yourself. This is about long-term health, not just a short-term fix. So as I'm closing out, this is what I want to say. If you're feeling chronically tired, unmotivated, and you're just not yourself, don't brush it off as just getting older. It might be something deeper like low testosterone. And the sooner you address it, the sooner you can start feeling yourself again. Talk to your healthcare provider. Get the labs done. Take care of your sleep, your diet, and stress. Small steps can make a huge difference. And if this episode hit home with you, or you know a friend who's been feeling run down, share it with them so they can hopefully feel empowered to go and talk to their healthcare provider about what's going on with them. And don't let the healthcare provider be dismissive, okay? Don't go to, and they're out there, the healthcare providers that look at you and say, life is just lifing. Like, get over it. I'm tired too. I'm fatigued too. You know what I mean? Like, none of us sleep. None of us eat good. Don't do that. Don't go see those people. They're in the wrong field. You need to go see someone who actually cares and wants you to feel better. Okay. So if you go and see that person and they dismiss you, please find somebody else to go to. Okay. Okay. So hopefully this empowered you a little to give you more knowledge of what testosterone is, how it affects you, and what you can do to fix it. So thanks for hanging out with me today on Unmasked Health. If you want more conversations about men's health, energy, performance, hit subscribe, the little subscribe button, and don't miss an episode. I'm Cassie, and I'll catch you next time. Stay strong, stay healthy, and take care of yourself.